That guy on bass here, you can call me Chris, and today we will be talking about my secret weapon as a working bass player, my Dingwall NG2. So for those of you who don't know, Dingwall are a Canadian-based bass manufacturer who, in my opinion, get a little bit of a bad rap for only being able to do the Dingwall thing. You know, the Dingwall thing. This. But Dingwall makes some incredibly versatile sounding instruments. One of them is what we're going to talk about today, which is my NG2. Hello, Editing Chris here. Just a quick one to say this isn't an ad or anything like that for Dingwall or the NG2. I bought the NG2 myself about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I really enjoy using it as a bass, so I wanted to do a video about it today. It's not an ad, there's no sponsorship, nothing like that. Right. Let's dive back in. The Dingwall NG2 is the signature bass of Adam Nolly Getgood. You may know him through the band Periphery, but also through his work as a standalone producer. This bass features an alder body with a maple bolt-on neck, 2 neodymium pickups, a 3-band EQ powered by a dark glass preamp, and a 4-way selector switch. There's also this pretty cool carbon fibre effect on the pickguard, and if you look around to the back, the battery compartment is separated with magnets, not screws. You can just pull it out like this, which is lovely. However, mine doesn't have any batteries, in fact, because I exclusively run this bass in passive, which I think sounds absolutely fantastic. The main selling point of the NG2 and Dingwall, in fact, is the fan fret system. So down here we have a 34-inch scale on the G and a 37-inch scale on the B, which is the main reason why this is my favourite 5-string I've ever personally played, and also my secret weapon as a working musician. The simple fact is, having that extended range on the lower register strings means there is tons of clarity in your lower notes. Think of it like a piano. When you look at a piano and you look at the left-hand notes, the lower register strings, the piano goes on for longer than the higher register strings. This is the exact same principle when you look at a Dingwall bass. The lower strings simply go on for longer than the higher register strings. For me, when I'm on a 5-string gig or I'm recording for someone and I need access to those lower notes, I want a bass that is nice and clear and even sounding both in tone and volume. And for me, the NG2 simply just delivers that. I've played 5 strings in the past where the E, the A, the D and the G sound fantastic, and then when you get onto that low B, it's often an increase in volume, a big loss in high end, and it just doesn't really work for my kind of preferences as a bass player. But don't take my word for it. What I'd like to do for you today is show you some pre-filmed footage from a recent wedding gig that I had, where I've recorded a DI of the NG2 and blended it in with the camera audio that I took from my GoPro. We're going to take a look at those now, but stay around to the end because I've got a question that I'd like to ask you to answer in the comments for me. Hopefully that gives a good example of why I like my NG2 so much when I'm on a 5-string gig, but this is my question for you today. What did you think of the idea of capturing live audio and using that in these YouTube videos as part of a demonstration or a review? It's something I've always wanted to do, and this is my kind of first attempt of trying to do that. It's far from perfect. There's a lot of things I want to change between this video and my next attempt at doing this. I'm still finding my feet with capturing and recording a good, strong DI live that I can reamp later and blend in with the video footage. As someone who does a lot of gigs and also demos and reviews a lot of products, what I'd eventually like to do is start demoing things at an actual gig. Because for me, ultimately, that's really important, because if you're going to purchase something and use it in the wild as a gigging musician yourself, I feel like it's going to be really beneficial for someone like me to show you what these instruments, be them amps, pedals, basses, everything in between, what they're actually like in a real world environment, as opposed to a nice, lovely, controlled, recorded space like this. Today was a little bit of an experiment. Whether this process is something I want to keep doing and refining, I'd like to, and I probably will, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Tatty bye.